A double stack air fryer for half the price of a Ninja. This Haden air fryer is made by a British company, has a huge capacity and some pretty nifty features. But does it match up to the Ninja? In this video, I do a side-by-side comparison of both air fryers and a chicken cook-off to see which model produces the best results in the quickest time. So first of all, if you're new to this channel, welcome along. There's a lot of information in this video. So chapters are marked on the timeline and you can see those in the description as well if you want to skip to particular parts of the video. So Haden might not be a name that most people associate with air fryers, but it's not a new company. It started in 1958 making kettles, and now they have expanded their range of appliances to include several air fryers as well. They produce this double stack model in two versions. This one has an RRP of £149, or there's one without the windows, which is £10 cheaper with an RRP of £139. In comparison, the Ninja has an RRP of £269.99. So the first thing you notice about the Haden when you get it out of the box is how large it is. It's 11 litre capacity, which makes it the largest air fryer I have ever reviewed. Here it is next to the Ninja Foodie Max and the Ninja Double Stack, both of which are 9.5 litre capacity. The Ninja Double Stack was built to fit the standard gap between worktops and kitchen cupboards. But of course, not everyone has a standard kitchen. And so the Haden, which is 2 centimetres shorter, may be a better fit for some. The drawers on these air fryers are very different sizes and shapes. The Haden is nearly 2 centimetres shorter than the Ninja and almost, but not quite, square. The larger surface area means it fits a standard 7-inch cake tin that you would normally put into a conventional oven, and of course it's better for pizzas as well. The Ninja's crisper plate and drawer are dishwasher safe, but dishwashers are not mentioned in the cleaning instructions for the Haden, so I would presume that you can't use them. Ninja's drawers are made with a PTFE coating and the crisper plates are non-stick aluminium with a nano ceramic coating. There's no information available. Even when I inquired direct to the manufacturers, they didn't reply about what the non-stick coating is on the Haden. And I did find that cleaning it, even after only 1 or 2 uses, that it was already experiencing problems with cooking residue sticking to the surface. Both double stacks have vents at the back of the drawers, but Ninja's crisper plate has 2 positions that it can be placed in, and the higher cooking position, which the Haden lacks, is recommended for better crisping and a more even finish to food. Both of these double stacks have 2 independently controlled cooking zones, which are completely self-contained with their own fans and heating elements, which is important if you have a member of the family who is vegetarian, for instance. The heating elements on both of these models are at the back rather than overhead, as you would see on a side-by-side drawer air fryer. Now, this positioning of the heat source is a compromise, which is never going to be as effective as having the elements directly above. But these models have been built with the small footprint as their main mission. Inside both air fryers, there's some metal channels in the roof. It's not explained anywhere what this is for, but I presume that they serve a similar purpose to the embossing on the bottom of the Philips air fryer drawers, which is to help air circulate. If you know any different, and there's bound to be somebody out there, then please do leave a comment below. Because this version of the Haden double stack has windows in the drawers, it also has a light in each compartment, but there's no option to turn this on and off, and instead it stays on throughout the cooking cycle. You might think that that means that this air fryer is going to use more power, but it's never that straightforward. And I'm going to talk about power and energy use for both of these models in a moment. The Ninja comes with 2 racks included in the box, and it has a specific double stack pro function which aids air circulation when you're cooking on 2 levels. The Haden doesn't have this function and doesn't make racks that fit the drawers, either included in the package or available to buy as accessories. And because it's a lesser known brand, it's going to be hard to find third-party manufacturers who are selling racks that fit this model. Both double stacks have control panels on the right-hand side. Many have complained that this feature on the Ninja means it wastes a very important 5.5 centimetres of worktop space when not in use. So one feature which I do really like about the Haden is the ability to fold the control panel flat against the side of the air fryer when it's not in use. The downside to Haden's shiny touchscreen control panel is that it shows all the fingerprints, and in common with a lot of more budget-friendly air fryers produced in countries that read right to left, the plus and minus controls are reversed on this model, and also the on, off and start button is combined as one. With the Ninja, my one bugbear is that the dial can be a little bit fiddly to use if the air fryer is in a tight space hard up against a wall. Cooking options on the Ninja are the standard 6 functions that you also see on the Foodie Max. Air fry, max crisp, bake, roast, reheat and dehydrate. These are settings rather than presets, so they have 3 different fan speeds. On the Haden there are 12 presets which are just pre-programmed times and temperatures, which are revised cooking settings for different popular food types. Haden refers to these as auto cook settings, and they are for French fries, they say biscuits, but I think they mean cookies, cake, chicken, steak, drumsticks, pizza, fish, sausages, vegetables, prawns, and chicken wings. Both double stacks have the option to duplicate settings from one drawer to the other at the touch of a button, and both will allow you to sync the drawers so that foods with different cooking durations finish cooking at the same time. Now I'm going to show you the results of cooking a whole chicken in both of these air fryers in a moment. It's very exciting. But before that, I just want to ask you, if you're finding this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I make weekly videos that help you choose and use your home appliances, and as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person in the UK doing that with UK and European models of the appliances. Now, when it comes to power consumption with these 2 air fryers, all is not quite what it would appear on the product description. The Haden has an impressive sounding 2,800 watts and both Ninjas are 2,470. So you might assume that the Haden is more powerful. But when I did my 10-minute energy test, the Haden used less power than both the Ninja Double Stack and the Ninja Foodie Max. Which brings me to the myth of wattage ratings. If you're looking for a powerful appliance, it's very easy to home in on that big number that you see and assume that the higher the number, the more powerful the appliance is going to be. But time and again, when I've tested appliances, I've seen that big numbers do not translate to big power. Now, it wasn't entirely surprising for me to discover that the Haden was using less power than the Ninjas, because right from the start, everything I cooked in it seemed to be taking longer than expected. These chips took twice as long as recommended on the packet. And then my mac and cheese, which is a bit of a tea time staple for my daughter, normally takes 20 minutes straight from the freezer and took 35 minutes in the Haden. Next was a cake recipe that I've cooked many times in air fryers. It's a recipe made for a conventional oven, and for that it tells you to cook the cake at 160 for 20 to 25 minutes. In an air fryer, I normally drop that time down to 20 minutes. But after 20 minutes in the Haden, it was nowhere near cooked, very wobbly in the centre. So I ended up sticking both halves of the cake back into the Haden at a higher temperature of 170 for an additional 18 minutes. So it took nearly twice as long as it would have taken in my Cosori air fryer. And it was a similar story when I cooked sausages and potatoes. I do these potatoes a lot, and they're actually a really good way to measure how fast an air fryer is. Even the Tefal dual drawer, which I considered slow when I reviewed it, produced better results at the 15-minute point than this Haden did. And my sausages, which were only chipolatas, so lots of surface area, took 30 minutes to cook and were unevenly browned. I actually did start to wonder if Haden themselves have realised this about their air fryer, that it's running slow, because if you look at the instruction book, stickers have been placed over the recommended timings for foods, and if you hold the page up to the light, you can see that the timings have actually been increased. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. One thing did cook well. These cookies were done on the cookie preset, which, as it happens, was exactly the same time and temperature that I would normally bake these in the oven. And at the end of the cooking process, they came out perfectly. I did wonder if the problem with cooking was because the Haden was running cooler than it should. It has a temperature range of between 60 and 200 Celsius compared to the Ninja, which has a range between 40 and 240. So I decided to do a test and check whether it was actually reaching 200 Celsius. And it did, but it took 8 minutes to get to 200 Celsius compared to about 3 minutes in the Ninja. But the ultimate test with these two double stacks was to cook a whole chicken in each. My husband, who now rolls his eyes at the mention of another roast chicken in this house, was particularly delighted that there would be 2 this week, and especially when I sent him out to buy them. He had one instruction, which was to return home with 2 chickens that weighed the same, and he came home with 2 chickens that weighed approximately the same, which really isn't the same thing. So as I suspected that the Ninja was going to be faster, I decided to give that air fryer the handicap of the slightly larger chicken. For this test, I was able to utilise some wireless temperature probes, which I've recently been gifted. Details of those are in the description. In theory, these probes would tell me the exact time that each of our approximately the same weight chickens reached 74 Celsius, and therefore we would know precisely the difference in cooking speed. Both chickens registered the same temperature on their probes when they went in the air fryer, but early on, the Ninja took the lead, and the gap between the probe temperatures kept growing. The Ninja reached 74 Celsius on the slightly larger chicken after 50 minutes, and the Haden took an extra 22 minutes to reach it, coming to temperature after 1 hour and 12 minutes. So it's undeniable that the Haden doesn't match Ninja for cooking speed, but it's not awful either. And if you're in a small space without a conventional oven and you're okay with longer cooking times, then this air fryer may still work for you. If you're considering buying either of those double stacks, or you want more information on the temperature probes, don't forget to check out the description for links to purchase, which helps support this channel. I'll also add any extra information I get after this video goes live into the description, including if I hear back from Haden about their non-stick surface. If you want to have your say on the kind of appliances that I review on this channel and to get early access to videos, I've now opened up the option of membership, which you can do via YouTube or Patreon. More details below.